Okay, then. So that is the end of the debate. I say debate. We all agree with each other pretty much the entire way through. So wasn't much of a debate, but there you go. Hopefully you found that illuminating and exciting. We're going to go into the news now. A few bits we have to do, including what went wrong. We'll save Travis Scott till last, or maybe we might even do it as a YouTube exclusive. I don't know. But I slipped this in sort of last second, actually, Stevie, and I was interested in your thoughts on it, of course. LA Knight, WWE Raw. Instead of me prattling on about what happened, can you, from your perspective, tell us what happened with LA Knight? Man, he got a huge ovation. And then, man, did they let that crowd down by the end of the evening.
I don't understand what happens or what has happened with LA Knight and continues to happen to LA Knight. I won't say with because it's all being done to him. And it just seems like somebody in the office, whether it's Triple H or just anybody, just does not think he can break the glass ceiling. He's over enough to stay over to a certain point, but that's going to run out after a while. If you keep having him fall short, if you keep making him look weak, and then you actually replayed something Bronson Reed did, 3 or 4 months ago with the tsunami splash onto an SUV or a car. I don't understand. I don't know if he's hurt. I hope he's hurt, and that's why they did it. Because any other reason outside being injured and not, being available and having to take time off, they're burying this guy. Why? Is it because do you hold some sort of thing because he's a mix between Rock and Austin with his promos and his mannerisms? Or I don't know. You put him in that tournament and you have him tap out the Gunther clean. Then he comes back and like you said, he gets a massive ovation even after that. And you just take that away from everybody. And you have, if they don't follow up with LA Knight, like I said before, folding chair outside, arms folded, sits down, and he waits. And that is the entire story for that episode and episodes moving forward. Then I don't know. But there's such a stop-start mentality with LA Knight. Do you think deep down, this is the thing too, he started out with the models. That feels like 1,000 years ago doing the male model thing with T-Bar from Retribution and Mansoor, future WWE champion in WrestleMania 43. But do you think that this is a Zack Ryder thing where he got himself over and they kind of resent him for it?
I wouldn't be surprised. I was wondering if it was an age thing. We think, well, we can't get behind him, too strongly because, he's in his 40s. I remember that being a knock on him 2 years ago. Well, you can't do too much with him. He's 41. Oh, but here's CM Punk. He's 46 at the time coming back.
You can't do too much. You hand him one of these. You give him a microphone. Like, that is the worst. That's just that's like saying, oh, LA Knight's 6'2", but he's not 6'4". Oh, his arms are 20 inches, but they aren't 24-inch pythons, brother. You can figure out any way to keep anybody down as much as you can figure out a way to put CM Punk in the main event. Yeah, dare I say it, I thought LA Knight was in his mid-30s. Like you said, I'm 54, you're not even 40, but this is the new age that's lower. Him being in his early 40s might as well be in his early to mid-30s. It infuriates me that somehow this feels intentional for a talent that has done nothing but get over with whatever you give him. Even the Roman Reigns thing, I thought that was way too early for him. Then whenever you give him the ball, he has a match at WrestleMania with Logan Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
U.S. title match. Incredible match. I've never seen LA Knight have a bad match by any stretch. He does what he does very well. He has very much a WWE look, a WWE style. In essence, in my estimation, he's the perfect mix of everything the WWE wants. So what is it? It has to be somebody. Nah, not over.
Okay, then. So on WWE Raw, this past Monday, and it's one of those things that always lets the wind out of everyone's sails. Logan Paul, like Rey Mysterio was coming out for a match. Logan Paul attacks him. And you don't get your Rey Mysterio match for your $1,000, per seat kind of thing, or whatever it might be. Which I always hate, especially when you've only got 4 matches on a card. But the other thing is that, and this is just a booking thing, what was going to be the main event unless LA Knight had attacked Logan Paul? What was the main event? Because that was made in an hour into the show. So what are we supposed to assume the main event actually was?
Wait a minute, where have you been for the past however many years?
It doesn't matter. It's just one of them cliches that's always bugged me.
They go, whew, thank God we had a main event. We didn't have one booked up until after Seg 1. Yeah, isn't it something? I don't like that. And especially when you're competing with Monday Night Football, you can offer a bonus match, but you don't say you don't have a main event for the night. You don't have, that's where the story arc of you opening the show, he's saying this, and he goes, by the end of the night, I'm going to do A, B, and C. That's an LA Knight spot to say that's his redemption, to go and try to pick people off, do whatever, side quest, knock somebody out. And then in the main event or the last segment of the show, you finally get to him. Hey, if you want to say something else, you want to say something else about the LA Knight thing, Braun Breaker's in the ring in that last segment and they go to the back. So when you pay your $1,000, you don't even get to see that live. That's up on the Titantron. So why don't you just watch it at home?
1, 2, 3, spear. 1, 2, 3. Man, he was trying. You could see that he was forced to say that over and over again. This is Braun Breaker, and then the video thing happens. He was trying to get that one, chanted by the fans, and that was not happening. And then LA Knight, it's that Simpsons thing you like stop, he's already dead. And then they go back and kill him some more. Why are they...
No, because you can't kill his push right now, but they're sure as hell trying to do it.
Right. Here's my idea. I'm going to go back to Jey Uso again. Why go with Jey Uso? For me, is an entrance. LA Knight has more going for him across the board. And I'll tell you what, the best thing about him, obviously, is his promos. I mean, he looks great and everything else. Looks like a star, presents himself like a star. But I like his promos because, if nothing else, they're quick. And they're punching, you've got a catchphrase, and you just get to the next bit. Yeah, done. I like that about him. He's kind of a throwback in that sense. You get the character within 2 minutes. That's all you need.
He proves he's an indictment on everybody else that's trying to be trendy and do these things and just whatever is fashionable for the time. He's a tried and true character that could get over, dare I say it, in any decade, any era. He could be over in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. He could be in the Garbage Man and race car driver days. Whatever it might be, he can get over. He can get over in AEW, TNA. I think he can get over anywhere in the world. He did get over in TNA before. You know what it is, too? He's just somebody that can improv. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite promos that I knew this guy was a star. NWA. He came out, talked about his outfit and everything, and then he said something, and he said something like shoes of a champion, and then he stopped and smiled. The crowd, and this is a studio show where they're usually not very loud. They erupted. He smiles. He made a mistake in the promo, ran with it, turned it into a thing, shoes of a champion, and I never forgot it. Instead of saying, hey, can we do that again? Hey, we're live, big guy. Like Jim Ross to Sid.
That was amazing. Okay, right. So I know LA Knight might not be the perfect person to do this with, but I was thinking, well, instead of just murdering... Right, okay, this is the WWE booking. And I think it's... In fairness, I'm going to steal a Brian Alvarez line, but I think he's right. Started with The Rock. They beat The Rock into powder in 2001, throughout the invasion and beyond. They had him lose tons. But he was The Rock. It didn't matter. You can argue the same for Daniel Bryan. They're the outliers. But for whatever reason, they think you have to get sympathy on someone by beating them over the course of months unmercifully. Like, if Travis Scott was made available on DLC without pulling him, that I would have been the character to beat him without mercy for hours on end. It seems the same thing constantly with every babyface they kind of half-heartedly want to push. And I was thinking, if you really want to make a brand new superstar in LA Knight, or quite frankly a few people on the roster, how about LA Knight overcomes the odds week after week after week, and then when all division come in the ring at the same time, he beats them all up. There's your new star, your new main eventer. And the only person he can't do it with is Brock Lesnar, because he's the only person on the roster who can beat several top main event wrestling stars single-handedly. Do the babyface version of it. It'll be a megastar. Why is this complicated?
I'll give you one better. Yeah, it's not complicated, and that's the thing. They do complicate it. I will say this. The only way you can save LA Knight from this repeated stop-start, beat him down, goes away, doesn't get revenge, like you said, the measured revenge of, you beat me up 3 different times, I'm going to beat all 3 of you up at the same time. He has to win the world title. To some degree, the only way to erase all this and make the struggle and the journey and the pitfalls matter is if you get the ultimate high point. He can't win the US title. He can't win the Intercontinental title. He has to win one of the world titles to make it all worth it and bring it all the way back around. If you say, well, he's not a world champion material, well, I would dare say he carried the TNA title pretty well. I would dare say that anybody can be world champion just if the machine gets behind them. And for some reason, maybe multiple ones in their mind, that machine refuses to get behind him.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you on this, Stevie, with this, as you get up off the seat. You still there? Oh, you are there. Good.
Listen, just like we said in that last segment, wrestlers put a lot of pressure on themselves. They try too hard. I will tell you right now, just sitting here recording, I'm talking with my South Philadelphia Italian hands. I sweat like I'm working out. I sweat like I'm wrestling. I don't know why I put so much physical energy into this, but you inspire me, James Morrell.
We do. Right. Okay, here's where I disagree with that booking philosophy of giving him the world title. The only way that works, in my mind, fully, completely, is if you know in your heart of hearts that the challenger, let's say it's LA Knight, in a fair fight, would beat the champion. Who the hell's the champion? CM Punk. Forget CM Punk. Let's say Seth Rollins or Gunther as heel champions. In your heart of hearts right now, is LA Knight booked to the point where you think if it was a one-on-one fair fight with Gunther that LA Knight would win? No. I don't think anyone would think that. You'd probably assume that unless LA Knight squeaked one out and flash pinned, that Gunther would win. And in the example we saw on SmackDown, he did win, clean, with a submission. If you're going to do the thing where you are beaten, you've got to overcome the odds, you've got to get it in the fans' mind that the babyface wrestler is being held down unfairly, but when the odds are even, he is the better person. And I don't think LA Knight's that person because of the booking.
Well, if that's the case, then you got to give him the consolation world title. Punk is somebody he could beat in a fair fight. Even if Punk was in UFC, looking at the two, I would say LA Knight looks...
I mean pro wrestling. I don't mean a street fight or anything. I'm saying...
it's all the presentation of how you're pushed. Yeah. Dude, I was in Daisy Dukes in a half shirt and people thought I was going to beat Terry Funk for the world title. Come on. You can't get a more ridiculous concept that people actually thought there was a chance. Maybe I could beat a guy 6'4" with 18 beers in him and a living legend that was wrapped in barbed wire like right out of the womb. I mean, come on. They might not believe it today looking at my body of work after that, but there was a time when they were just like, yeah. Did you get that pun?
Yeah. But that's the point I'm making, is that the booking got you to that point where you were a viable contender. LA Knight.
Yep.
The booking is against him.
Well, once again, that's what I put towards. I put it on creative. I put it on the company. I put it on management. That is somehow, you're talking about the guy's too old. Well, what are you waiting for? Maybe not the world title, but somebody. He broke that mid to upper, even in the upper main event echelon for a little bit of the time. And I believe he carried his weight with it. He should be in the mix. So, and if you think like Seth Rollins, he has impressive moves, but I would still say it's 50-50. If you think LA Knight or Seth Rollins could beat the other clean, that's 50-50. Gunther's a different story. But then again, they've taken so much away from Gunther. Now, here's all right, who would you believe could beat Gunther clean at WrestleMania? LA Knight or Sami Zayn?
Neither.
Yeah, but Sami Zayn did.
Yeah, I guess so. Without squeaking one past them, I don't know. I'm talking about like man on man, not like flash pin or something like that.
Well, Gunther's in a completely different universe of what he's working with and what he's doing with the Cena stuff. I'm talking about LA Knight should be a guy that either has a blood feud personal issue that carries him for a while, or he's got to be fighting for a title because he's the type of character, even as a babyface, dude's there for the money. Dude's a megastar. He's kind of on the cusp of being that tweener, like a Rock and an Austin. That's his presentation. And I believe the hybrid of being between a Rock and an Austin, either consciously or subconsciously, that really does annoy the office and that holds him back. But it's what gets him over.
I don't get it. What is it? Just the Zack Ryder thing that? Well, we didn't tell him to say that, so therefore
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think LA Knight really did turn around and say, this model thing, I'm not doing it. This is what I need to do. And then they said, okay, here you go. They did the belt squad thing. Here you go, pal. And said, let's see if you get over. Secretly hoping maybe he's not going to get over as much as he did. And he did get over. Remember, he was doing like, people say, oh, they always do those dark matches when he did the thing with Hit Row, remember? Mm-hmm. He got a massive reaction and never made TV. So they didn't expect it. And I believe it's an exact one-to-one analogy. Of course, this dude's got a better push than Zack Ryder and probably making more money than he did back in the day, but he's still falling short of his potential, and they need to get out of their own way.